Guys, I wanted to give you an update on how I've been doing since the birth of Nehemiah. I had him at 31 weeks and he was stillborn on August the 28th, and I'll leave a link below of the stillbirth story. And I'll just talk about recovery process, postpartum, and how that's been since these past 2 months. As far as physical, it took about 3 to 4 weeks for me to feel like myself again. Everything dried up, and I did have some mild tearing during the delivery, so I did have to get stitches, and that healed up pretty good. As far as weight gain overall, for the total pregnancy, I gained 14 pounds. I lost all of it, and then I gained some back, so that's another story. At my 6-week checkup, it was the end of September. I was out of work for about a month to heal and recover. And at the 6-week checkup, they gave me the results. They did some testing on the baby's umbilical cord, the placenta, and the baby. And everything came back normal as far as abnormalities of, chromosomes, Down syndrome, that kind of stuff. All of that came back normal. So the biggest thing was the umbilical cord cyst. It was pretty large, and that did cause, his death. At this point in time, there's no known cause for it. No one knows the reason or what, could cause an umbilical cord cyst. It happens in 1 in every so many thousand pregnancies. And I just had to be the one. So, there is no cause. It's not genetic. And the doctor says most likely that's not something that should happen again. So it's still, a process and trying to come to closure as far as, what did cause his death. So at this point, there's no cause for the umbilical cord cyst. And as far as physical things with me, everything is fine. No complications or anything like that. So, that was, as far as physical recovery, it was difficult. My body was still, responding as if I had a baby, such as like the breast milk and all that stuff was a hot mess. And so it was pretty tough, but it took about 4 weeks for me to feel like myself again. As far as emotional, that's a long story. I still do go through, periods of feeling sad, confused, angry, depression, questioning, what happened, what could I have done different. I still feel guilt. I never experienced grief like this before. It was extremely hard. It's still a day-to-day process. I have some good days and some bad days. There are days when I feel completely fine and I think about Nehemiah and my husband reminds me he's in heaven. But there are days where it just hits me like, wow, I'm so overwhelmed with, feelings of sadness, feelings of guilt. Just really anxious some days about just the thought of, wow, did I really go through all that stuff? And just looking back on, the whole pregnancy, it's still, it still makes me feel sad sometimes. But I just try to focus on the positive. The hospital gave us a memorial service on October the 15th. It was beautiful. They did cremate the baby, Nehemiah, along with other babies that were stillborn. And they buried their ashes among flowers in this garden they have at the hospital. And so that was really really good, and it really brought some peace to my heart. But it really did hurt just kind of seeing, the ashes, and I think of, what could have been, So it was a beautiful service, and we also had a candlelight service afterwards. So that was a really nice service, and they do that every year as part of the Infant and Pregnancy Loss Awareness Day, which is always on October the 15th each year. So that was really good. On October the 28th was my due date. It was a Monday, and I thought I was going to be fine. I thought, I did all this healing, I've been to support groups, and, I thought when the day come, I'll be completely fine and in acceptance. But I went to work dancing, singing, and I thought I was, okay. But maybe like 2 hours later, I almost had like a panic attack. It was a hot mess. I was extremely anxious, crying, and just, I never experienced anything like it before. So I had to leave work early. It's just I have those days. It just catch me off guard. And so on my due date, October 28th, I just kind of, hung out with my husband. And we try to process, what happened and our feelings about, everything. And, just, again, think on the positive that Nehemiah is in heaven and, God is taking care of him right now. We always, still have those what ifs. I have been to counseling. It was extremely draining just to talk about the whole experience again. So that was okay. I've been to support groups at the hospital. They have them every month for people that's had a miscarriage or a stillbirth. And I found that helpful. So most likely I'll continue to go to those groups as well. Family and friends are a huge support. They really encourage me and reach out to me and just kind of help me feel good about, be optimistic about things. When I had the stillbirth, we announced it on YouTube and Facebook, and I was surprised to see how many people reached out to me that have experienced the same thing as I have. Because, stillbirth is not something people really talk about. And it's nothing I don't even know anybody, before this experience, I didn't know anybody that experienced something like that. It's so taboo, people really don't talk about it. But I was surprised to see how many people experienced it. They've overcome it. They went on to have other children. So that was really encouraging, especially you guys on YouTube. I really appreciate your comments and your support. This has been an extremely difficult time in my life. And so I really appreciate, the family and friends and people that reached out to us. And I look on YouTube videos, people that experience stillbirths as well. And that, that helps me a lot to see other people and how they experience grief as well. Faith in God is a huge one. My faith in God has really kept me grounded in this tough time. Just believing that, we go through some things and God will bring us out. And it makes us stronger. So I'm able to testify to other people and encourage them, So that's been a big one. Just my faith in God has been, really kept me grounded, especially during those times where I feel sad and depressed. And really just don't know what to do. I just read the Bible and read encouraging messages. And so that's helped me. Two really good books that's helped me. One girl here on YouTube told me about this book called Grieving the Child I Never Knew. And it's almost like a journal, devotional book. It will give you a scripture, a prayer, and it will give you some questions to answer. And it really takes you through the grief process and really helps you to think and process, everything that's happened and your feelings. So I really like this. It's called Grieving a Child I Never Knew. And there was another book I got from my support group at the hospital. It's called Empty Cradle, Broken Heart. And it's Surviving the Death of Your Baby by Deborah Davis. And this book seems like I wrote it myself. A lot of the paragraphs in it is a combination of stories of people that experienced a miscarriage or a stillbirth. And it really brings out your exact feelings you're feeling, and it's interesting to see other people's experiences. So these books have really helped me. I try to read at least one of them every night or every other night if I can. And sometimes I'll ask ask the questions to my husband to see what he thinks. During this experience, men really grieve differently than women, and I didn't realize it. So I just try to respect, him and how he wants to, deal with things. And his way is definitely different than mine, but we both try to support each other during this tough time. So what's next? I have no idea. Some people ask, are you going to have another baby again? Or, oh, you can try again. And, I think to myself, it's really not that simple. I really enjoyed my pregnancy. I mean, I had so much fun. But after the stillbirth, the thought of it, having another baby again makes me cringe. I'm so anxious, and I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, of course, after miscarriage or stillbirth, you have that really bad baby fever. Like you want a baby right now, or you want to be pregnant right now. And, I do have those feelings. But I just try to find ways to suppress it, because I try to think of something else, because I just don't want to go through that again. But I don't know. I get pregnant easily, and it just is scary, But we're definitely not trying right now. Just want to take some time to heal, and just focus on us. But literally, after the experience, the joys of pregnancy are ripped from you. The whole process of, all the baby stuff I bought, taking down the crib, giving that stuff away was heartbreaking. It was awful. I really can't even explain it. But, the whole process has been extremely challenging. And, I still have doubts, wondering, are we supposed to have children? Or, I don't know, what's in the future for us, if we're going to have, any other children or not. It just makes me anxious. I can imagine being in fear, for 9 months, every single day. So, I don't know, what's next or what's in the future. But right now, we just take it one day at a time, So I just try to stay encouraged and, encourage other people. I'm very outspoken about, what happened, and I'm not ashamed. It's been extremely tough. We have good days and bad days, and so right now we're just, taking it one day at a time. So I'll keep you guys updated on how we're doing, and so far I'm doing okay, and I'm just trying to be encouraged and keep the faith. And so if you guys have any questions, you definitely welcome to post them in the link below. You can always add me on Facebook. I stay on Facebook. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you again.